28th edition of this field hockey matchup in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference between the sweet Briar Vixens and the hometown Lynchburg Hornets, the 13th ranked Lynchburg Hornets. Hi everybody, welcome to Schellenberger Field, a beautiful, picturesque setting on this Wednesday afternoon. And if you're joining us from across the pond, glad to bring you this one a little bit earlier than normal here on the 4:30 Eastern Time start. It is going to be a fun game. It's a great part of the season for this Lynchburg squad. It continues to produce 2 losses in the middle of the season. They have rattled off some consecutive wins, looking to keep it going. Hi everybody, my name is Evan Gates. Glad you're joining us. We're going to jump right into it as we look at some of the pregame stats. And the tail of the tape is pretty self-explanatory for this one. Lynchburg's offense has been really good this season. They're starting to explode at the right time, and courtesy of some of the freshman contributors. We'll talk about them throughout this contest, but someone like Joe Briar has been sensational. You look at the goal scoring, you look at everybody getting involved, it's going to have to be a committee effort, and the freshmen have stepped up at big times this season. But for Sweet Briar as well, as you see on the stat sheet, it's really been giving up goals, just under 2.8 goals allowed per game. We know as well in the shooting department they have struggled, but safe to say this is a matchup that can be very interesting as we look into this one. Some staff members from Lynchburg have been assisting the Sweet Briar squad this year. If you look at head coach Angie Steele from last season, and she is a consultant for the Sweet Briar squad, and she was a legend in the Lynchburg Reds, so just super cool to see those connections. But overall, Lynchburg has to come out and play their style of play, and then we'll also look at the gateway to success, and sometimes that is what has to happen. You've got to stay true to your playing style. For Sweet Briar, it's about taking the load off of Hart, and this one, it is a big goalkeeping affair for this Sweet Briar squad. We'll say they will be tested early and often from a Lynchburg squad that likes to cover the page, and it starts with tempo. How well they do with just slowing down this Hornet squad, it's going to be a big test, as well as controlling the midfield. In any possession battle, you know you want to stop the opponent in the first quarter. It has to start with Sweet Briar's style of play. Can they bring the energy from the gun in this 60-minute affair? But Lynchburg is about converting on penalty points. This is a squad that has struggled throughout the year. Coach Jimmy Relford has been vocal about it. She says, you're not going to get as many opportunities in ODAC play. You got to capitalize on the ones you get. This is a Hornet squad that would rather start doing it now than wait until the postseason and getting everyone involved. As we already stated, it's a squad that has so much versatility quickly jumping down the roster. Lynchburg will look to get it done. A team that had 23 different goal scorers last year, and only 2 were in double figures. Might we see a similar setting now? Such a fun time on Schellenberger Field as always. It's doubleheader action tonight as men's soccer gets prepared to have a top of the ODAC tussle with Hampton Sydney. But for now, we've got field hockey and 60 minutes of it on the Shelley Green. A beautiful day in the Hill City. We will be right back with the start from Lynchburg as they take on Sweet Briar.
We're going to Briar.
here on Schellenberger Field. Welcome back as this Sweet Briar squad takes on Lynchburg, a matchup that we have seen 27 times in series history. Lynchburg has taken every single edition. They hope to extend that win streak into today, and we know this is a squad that has been very potent throughout the season. The Hornets come into this one 11-2, 2 losses in the non-conference slate, currently tied with Shenandoah up front. It's going to be a matchup, obviously, where the Hornets hope to really dominate early and continue to use that momentum from recent games as they stick on this win streak. For Sweet Briar, it's about slowing things down, trying to catch the heart rate a little bit. They're coming off of an 8-0 loss versus Shenandoah, as we said, the other team at the top of the conference, where 6 different Hornets scored. And so we know that this goalkeeping committee, this defense, is going to be tested in this one. That is not the question, but can they come and produce? As we'll take a look at some of our players to watch in this contest. It is a big affair for the player you see on your screen, Gigi Hutman. She has been sensational for Sweet Briar, 7 goals this season, leads the team as well. You're going to see the ball at her stick very often throughout this one. She has to come in and use her energy and momentum. It will be an affair where she can do so, but the rest of the offense also has to get started as Sweet Briar and the white tops and pink bottoms moving left to right on your screen. Lynchburg in the all-black, and away we go. Autumn colors everywhere around campus, a beautiful setting, and a great time to visit as well. We're going to have to see how the next few weeks unwind, and if you're Lynchburg, you hope you're hosting an ODAC game or two at this field. You would love to bring the ODAC championship back into the Hill City, as they did last year versus Shenandoah. Taking a look at the starters in this contest, as Lynchburg already moving into that attacking third. We'll see what they can do to keep it there. The Hornets start with Kanye Mzizi. As always, she has been sensational. The sophomore from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, continuing to keep things going. Just 2 goals this season, but she has made very big impacts. Game winner versus Center with a 3-2 victory. And recent memories, the Hornets already starting to move forward. And they will get that first penalty corner of the contest, something that Coach Relaford has discussed. As we mentioned, Sweet Briar will move back. Danny Kuhn starts with Riley Weinfordner, Allie Freeman, Maddie Schuchter, Avery Watkins, Olivia Muir, Anna Dorstein, Olivia Van Meter, Madison Mark, and Samira Garavi in goal on the other side. For Garavi in this contest, you hope you're not in action as frequently. A Lynchburg team that's looking to stay on offense and really exploit the holes in this Sweet Briar defense. A Vixen squad that is 5-8 on the season. 1 win in conference play so far. Lynchburg's first chance of the contest. We will see what they can do. And can Rayan Hart have a goalkeeping display? That will be a good memory. Lynchburg, an early deflection. Good opportunity already. We've seen some of those late shot opportunities where you're taking your stick at the right time. Hornets don't capitalize on this one, and Sweet Briar will move the other way. The Vixens start with Gigi Hutman, Ashley Previtt, Carlina Christie, Samantha Champion, Jenna Previtt, Larkin Shire, Kaylee McCarthy, Bella Perdue, Laura Yost, and Emmy Birdie. Rayan Hart is in goal for Sweet Briar. Coming into this one, the freshman from Bridgeton, Maine, will continue to share some of those goalkeeping appearances. We've also seen Ashley Majora throughout this season for Sweet Briar. Different looks. Here come the Hornets already with space, passing outside. Contact that the Hornets will maneuver through, and we will see throughout this contest, can they get the goal scoring early? Sweet Briar in that last game versus Shenandoah conceded goals at lots of different times. Hope to keep the Hornets off the board early. They got to be careful. Danger zone already, and now the Hornets continue to move forward. Here's Danny Kuhn. Takes a swipe at it. This one is blocked away. Will be another penalty corner. Looks like it caught the foot of one of those Sweet Briar defenders. Looks like somebody might be injured on that play as well. So the athletic training staff will venture out, see the referee hand in the air. Not sure if the stoppage will be due to a call or if the referee intervened for the injury. Here are some of the fans on the track enjoying some afternoon action on Schellenberger. Wednesdays are normally packed in the autumn and really any time of the year, but Schellenberger Field, especially in the fall and the spring, is such a lively place. This is the time of the year to come out and bring the fan bases with you. You'll remember at the beginning of the year, Lynchburg just 1 point behind Shenandoah in the ODAC preseason poll, ranked second, and Shenandoah now is 12th in the national poll. Lynchburg is 13th, so it might be fitting. So we see the injury was Laura Yost, the senior from Germany, 2 goals and 2 assists this year. She started every game but 5 at Sweet Briar, going back all the way to her freshman season, now a senior. An integral part of what the Vixens have happening, but for now, they will be stuck on defense as Lynchburg almost takes another one away, whistle blown. Sweet Briar can maintain on the far side. The Vixens led by 11th year head coach Hannah Lott, the Washington and Jefferson graduate. As Lynchburg moves into the area code now, taking another shot, goes out wide. Hart has to get down in a very timely interaction. Wow, you saw Lynchburg on the doorstep again, a few opportunities early. As this one is ushered out, Lynchburg will reset with Kanye Mazizi. Moves to the middle of the field, quick speed on display. And great movement as well. Ooh, Lynchburg misses another opportunity. Looked like Olivia Van Meter was on that one, just having to sit, as this one will go out. Jill Pleiter enters the contest for Lynchburg. Somebody who hasn't exactly had the high number of minutes as some of the others, but she's made so many contributions. Ball's immediately at her stick. Referee calls the whistle. Vixens try to clear, only temporarily. Now Lynchburg maneuvering back the other way. Mazizi down Main Street, goes outside. Balsamo takes a swipe at it, and as this one files through. Shot opportunities early for Lynchburg. Starting to live in the circle. No numbers on the scoreboard yet in the first 5 minutes of this contest. Lynchburg, of course, is led by Jenny Relaford in her first season as head coach, but on the staff since 2015, and if you followed along this season, you know she has been sensational. So much energy. A lot of expectations for the squad, and albeit a young roster, she says they've shown a lot of maturity and a great response to those 2 losses earlier in the season, especially when you get blanked against York. That's tough to keep moving forward, but Lynchburg has done just that. And they have scored 2 or more goals in every single win this season, all 11. The Hornets have been all over the scoreboard. They look to do it again today. Here comes Sweet Briar with space on the far side. Chance for Burdine. And now Sweet Briar maybe catching the Hornets napping. They have numbers on the other side. Garavi might be pressed into action. And a penalty corner now for the Vixens. So Lynchburg has to move back. An opportunity presents itself, and Sweet Briar runs through the door. We will see how they set this one up. It's all about minimizing mistakes for this Lynchburg team as well. Another point that Coach Relaford made. Maybe that is a product of the youth that this squad has, and so much of it, especially on the attack. But you got to get back and rely on the veterans. We will see what Garavi and company can do on the defensive end. Here come the Vixens. Preparing this opportunity, just floats through. An easy defense as Mizizi will work her way the other way. Mask flying off. Lynchburg can take a breath. Few games remain on the schedule, but Lynchburg maybe is the final boss upcoming. Shenandoah will be the final game of the season. We know we've already explored that narrative a lot, but two of the teams that historically have dominated. We know Lynchburg has been in 85% of the ODAC championship games ever played for field hockey. They look to keep that rolling, but there's a Shenandoah squad that often sits in the way. This time, Sweet Briar with another disruption. Question is, can they get out of Lynchburg's attacking third? They've been very good so far. Mazizi all around the field. Presses this one in, and now Hart is out. You got to be careful if you're Sweet Briar. Another late deflection as Lynchburg is still searching. Played in, there's the first. Lynchburg catches the cage. A variety of good passes, strong connections, and the Hornets can finally capitalize. It has been a steady flow of offense in these first few minutes. Lynchburg has just shown us by committee how strong they can be. And efficiency once again as the Hornets get one on the board. Now Sweet Briar looks to just try to maintain possession. We talked about it in the open against a team that is so vicious in its attack. You got to take those little victories, and here might be a chance. Balsamo is to come back. Now the Hornets can work forward. 13 trying to see what you can do, and now Lynchburg passes it outside. Another entry. This time the Hornets can take a second and regroup. It's so crucial to win that conference tournament with only 24 spots available in the NCAAs. Here's another chance at the doorstep. Somehow Sweet Briar tries to block this one. Referee intervenes. Vixens once again having to stay strong and build that brick wall. I tell you, Mazizi is one of those players who is so crafty. Top speed is so impressive. She can operate at a high level, but it's sometimes the change of pace that's more impressive than anything else. Kanye Mazizi, of course, a member of that Zimbabwe national team. Last year, the first teamer and a second-team All-American, one of only 4 freshmen to accomplish that feat. Now Lynchburg preps for another penalty corner. They'll have a few more seconds as the Sweet Briar defense prepares. What can the Hornets craft up in the blueprint? This time, straight shot, stays away. Blinder looked for the second chance. Hart on the turf. They can't do it. The Vixens tried to exit stage left, though unsuccessfully, as the Hornets once again with another connection in the pile. It has just been a mob all day long, sitting right outside of the cage. Lynchburg capitalizes again. You can tell early in this contest it has been so difficult for Ray and Hart. It comes down to the defense around. You understand it is such a committee effort. Once again, Lynchburg back on the scoreboard, 2-0. And the Hornets start to apply some new lineups, and that's what you want to see at this stage of the season. Anytime that you can get players who aren't typically on the field together, if you get them in the mix, good things can happen come ODAC tournament time. You're not always going to have the same formula to reach the equation. It's going to take multiple different efforts as Grace Peterson, another one of the strong freshmen, earns possession back for Lynchburg. Under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. The Hornets are up 2. Quick action. They have controlled possession for the majority as we've started this one. Here's Schuchter. Sweetbriar once again looking to tap it away and send it the other direction as the Hornets continue their momentum. This one rolls all the way through. The Vixens can take over. Perfect 7-0 at home for Lynchburg this season. And they are on a 7-game winning streak as well. Coach Relaford can feel very happy about the direction. A few more games going down the ODAC slate that Lynchburg can take advantage of. Any game in the ODAC, you know you got to be prepared. Going to get other opponents' best, especially when you have the history that Lynchburg has. But it will certainly become a little clearer, that picture of the postseason, as we wind down. And arguably, that Lynchburg-Shenandoah matchup to end it all might be where that championship game could be played. It's not assuming that both of those teams go through. Going to have some tough contests, but obviously the 1 seed will have those host privileges. We'll just have to wait and see as Lynchburg waits with a slew of substitutions on the sideline, ready to enter. The Hornets looking for goal number 3. Here comes Kuhn weaving in and out right by Hart. You see Sweetbriar being pressed into these different spots on the field. Lynchburg has just done well with its passing, but a lot of isolation to enter the circle. Vixens have to start trying to take control, especially earlier, because once Lynchburg gets downhill, it's very difficult to beat. Now working down the far side of the field. Hornets have another opportunity. This time rolls through. Whistle blown, Sweetbriar can take over, but another promising chance. We've seen Danny Kuhn with a few opportunities. Somebody who started every contest this season, missed 2022 with an ACL tear. But she has come back and been such an important part of this season. 15 starts last season as well. Talk about refinding your footing, and these veterans have been even more crucial this year. With the level of youth that you see on this Lynchburg squad. Now the Hornets working down the far side. Maybe a second effort this time. Lynchburg looking for the entry. Stays right outside, and it peppers its way on in. The stove is hot now, and Lynchburg just dumping all the ingredients into the cage. Every single time we're seeing it right on the edge. Lynchburg, maybe not the first chance filing through. They're getting the second. Big statement so far for the Hornets as they continue to operate. Callie Short will be credited with that goal. The freshman from Delaware make it the 3rd on the season. So many freshmen when you look at this roster. We talked about Joe Pleiter already. Maddie Schuchter, someone else, 5 goals, 4 assists on the season. So much good ball movement in the middle of the field, something you want to see, an anchor on this Lynchburg team as the Vixens trying to fight the other way. This time ushered out by Allie Freeman. Callie Short, Grace Peterson can keep on going down the line. These afternoon and evening games, as always, can play some difficulty on that side of the field for Lynchburg with the sun setting. They haven't had trouble yet. Garavi has to come out as this one finds the cage. Sweetbriar enters the picture in a big way, and we've talked about it already. Lynchburg pressing up almost the entire contest. The Vixens find numbers. They find a 1 on the scoreboard, and they are within 2 here in this first quarter. An offensive explosion from Schellenberger as 4 have already hit the back of the cage. Isolation opportunity where Garavi came out, just a really tough play to make. Widow outside of the reach, and Lynchburg gives up its first of the contest. Going back to some of the youth on this Lynchburg team, well, when you look at the top scorers, it's been a trio of freshmen that have combined up front for 18 goals. If you look at last season, there were only 3 freshmen in the top 11 scorers. And they are the top 3 this year for Hornet squad looking to go deep into November. NCAA quarterfinal appearance last year. Enza Steele really laid the groundwork, but Jenny Relaford is picking right up where Coach Steele left off. This one's going to go all the way through. Lynchburg will take possession in the final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Hornets have dominated in possession, but Sweet Briar found their way into things. They'll look to keep on doing it in the second. We'll see if the Hornets have one final opportunity. Here's a late disruption. The Vixens start moving the other way. Referee confirms. 5 seconds. Sweet Briar will have to cook up a miracle. As this one stays on the outside, it won't matter. And the Ticks bleed to 0. A lot of offense from Schellenberger. And on the first 7 shot attempts, 4 of them have found the back of the cage. Lynchburg will continue trying to use possession and use momentum off this 7-game win streak here. After 1, they're up 2 versus the Vixens.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here. And I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool. But regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship.
Welcome back in the Hill City. Lynchburg 3, Sweet Briar 1 as we enter the second quarter. Evan Gates taking you through this one, and we've already seen lots of offense. And Lynchburg is really just sit inside the circle and capitalized. Sweet Briar has taken a lot of the opportunities as of late, and they have really started to gain traction in this midfield. What do they have in store for the second set of 15 as the Hornets start to move backwards? Far side of the field. Running into trouble once again. This is how Sweet Briar got the first one. It was a breakaway opportunity. They set this time, and Lynchburg, a little better defense on that far side. Weinfordner sticking close. Hornets just can't get the clearance. Sweet Briar still making progress, except the referee says this one will go the other way. Dorstein was ready. Now the Hornets can leave out the back door. A lot of stoppages as we move back and forth. We mentioned it earlier in this game, but Karen Mahan, now on the Sweet Briar staff, was previously a coach right here at Lynchburg. As we know, Jackie Bolt is the new goalkeeping coach here in the Hill City, but good to see some familiar faces. Coach Mann, someone who has been around success, and the Sweet Briar squad has certainly continued to make progress in the right direction. You got to look at the coaching resume. It goes back to Hannah Lott, what she's been able to accomplish. 2021, the team went 13-9. That was the winningest season since 2000 for this program. Though it is a 5-8 start, it is a very difficult ODAC conference, and we know that lots of teams are capable of getting wins now. Getting better recruiting pools as well. Recruiting pool here at Sweet Briar is very interesting as well. They go all around the East Coast, both north and south, but there are certainly a few anomalies in that category as this ball ushers all the way out, and Lynchburg can take over. A pair from Huntington Beach, California. Something you don't see every day. Gianna Guadagno and Emmy Birdine, the two. As here comes Pleiter out the other side. Lynchburg might have numbers in the circle this time. Rolls on through, and it looks like the deflection goes in. Jill Pleiter, another one that she has just continued to find in the circle. It has been so impressive as this Lynchburg squad continues to roll forward. The fourth on the day for the Hornets. Jill Pleiter. The resume only grows this season. That would be goal number 7. Already an assist, and get this, coming into this contest, only 207 minutes on the season. Not a typical starter for the Hornets, and Coach Relaford has placed emphasis on that in the past. She says, you know, the starters don't always necessarily matter. It's not like some of these other sports where if you start, that is the big emphasis, the exclamation mark, but rather it's sometimes those late additions that can make such a difference. Jill Pleiter is only going to see her time grow in her tenure with the Hornets. Here comes Mazizi, watch out. Shot adds some velocity, second chance from the Hornets. Files on through. Chance after chance, and Lynchburg continues rolling. And guess who got that one? Jill Pleiter again. To our eye up in the press box, looked like 14 just put 2 in the back of the cage. All of a sudden, Lynchburg just continues to keep the stove hot. That is really the best way to describe it. It hasn't had many temperature changes yet. The Vixens with the lone goal in the first quarter. But the Hornets starting to find their footing. A lot of substitutions in and out as well. This is a Lynchburg team that is very versatile. They have the numbers to shake up the lineup. Muir sends this one forward. Sweet Briar looks to head the other way. Temporarily possessed from Larkinshire, but now a few whistles in the air, and Lynchburg can take an extra second. Chance for 4 different fall sports teams to host an ODAC tournament game as Lynchburg once again tries to find another opportunity, and once again Grace Peterson gets her stick on it, but the call sends it the other way. The Vixens can take over. 3 teams right now in the top 2 of their respective conferences. Of course, this field hockey team along with the men's and women's soccer clubs at Lynchburg. And the Lynchburg volleyball team, if they can win out, they can be in the top 4 and get a game in Turner Gymnasium. Great time to be a Hornet sports fan. Might need the research department to go back and see the last time that feat was accomplished, because while Lynchburg has been successful, it's tough to get all those programs on the same page at the same time. But a Learfield finish inside the top 20 last year for the Hornets. That measures every single sport on campus. A few national championships never hurt. This field hockey squad looks to continue making national progress. Last year, the national champions on the track team, indoor distance medley relay, along with Sam Laneza, and the outdoor track 1,500 meter championship. And then, of course, the equestrian squad. Lynchburg baseball team with a Final Four appearance, field hockey in the Elite Eight. And even if you are just a fan of the Lynchburg field hockey squad, or you don't keep as informed with the others, it's just cool to know that the culture has just been growing, and it helps every single program when you're surrounded by athletic prowess day in and day out. Stifler takes it the other way. Lynchburg will take their time as Mazizi's tripped up. Now the Hornets look to go the other way. Sweet Briar once again. Gigi Huttman moving forward, but the Hornets can take their momentum, and you just see it with the Vixens, even when they have possession, a lot of it moving backwards. It's giving a lot of space now for Lynchburg. Here's Peterson working on this near side. Mazizi will be in the circle. Some misdirection, a little too much contact, but oh no, it's going to stay in Lynchburg's favor. Athletic training staff will make their way back out. 7:18 to go in the second quarter. Lynchburg with 10 shots on the day, 5 of them have connected. Hence the reason they find themselves up 4 in the Hill City. Next time out for Lynchburg, it will be a date with EMU. Saturday at 1 p.m., that one on the road. And then they will travel to Virginia Wesleyan on Wednesday. One of the toughest trips you make in the ODAC. Going so far east. That Wednesday contest is at 5 p.m. Bella Perdue injured on that last play, so she will exit momentarily. Now Danny Kuhn sends this one forward. Lynchburg, good misdirection and a better opportunity. This one once again right outside of the cage. Maddie Schuchter. She is so poised, and you just continue to see her teammates find her. Sometimes that shows the trust up front. Peterson thought she got away with that one, but Sweet Briar can continue pressing forward. Samantha Champion sends it back. Vixen's got to be careful now. Lynchburg lingering. If they get possession, they do now. Mazizi Feeds Kuhn. Near side, another deflection. Back and forth we go. Stifler to Mazizi. And reversing field the other way. 4 games on the slate today. This is the earliest start time. 2 big matchups as well, as we'll touch on momentarily. This chance finds a foot of Hart, kicks this one out. Penalty corner ensuing once again. The Hornets can draw something up. We'll see what Coach Relaford has in store. And Lynchburg up 4. Bridgewater plays Roanoke today in a 4-7 matchup as the ODAC table currently sits. Washington and Lee will play Randolph-Macon in a 5-6 matchup. So keep your eyes peeled on those two as they could shake up the standings with a few games to go. Still a little bit of time left. What can Sweet Briar's defense prepare as this files through? Lynchburg with the chance. They're going to get another look at it. So once again, looked like this one deflected off the foot, so the Hornets can set something else up. It was a good feed. Here come the Hornets. Round 2 goes to Danny Kuhn. Shot goes around Hart. Almost. Another dangerous opportunity. Hornets stick on the doorstep. Vixens playing better defense, and now Mazizi seeing if she can weave in. Here's Kuhn again. Another shot that will head the other way. And once again, another injury in the circle. Sweet Briar has been pressed in that area of the field. Not something you want to see, especially this stage of the season. We know it has been so much work when it goes back to the summer. Put in a lot of effort to get here, and now it's all about maintaining. Starts with rotating reps, rotating players on the field. You wonder if Samira Garavi will stay in this entire contest for Lynchburg. Lots of different options for this Hornets team to explore. They have already split time in goal this season. Laura Yost was the player down for the Vixens, walking gingerly off the field. A little bit of help from the AT staff and her coaches. Lynchburg last time out, as we haven't mentioned it yet, a win versus Washington and Lee, 4-1 score line, 13 penalty corners. Maybe that's the point of emphasis, and maybe that's why it's so fresh in Coach Relaford's mind that you need to go out and execute a little bit cleaner. This Lynchburg team is starting to stack them again today. A Hornet squad that outshot the Generals 17-5 with 10 on frame. Goals from Schuchter, Van Meter, Mark, and Short. Callie Short had 2 of them. This Lynchburg team, as we've mentioned, has just continued to find an array of offensive contributions. Sweet Briar will continue to progress forward. Now the Vixens just running out of space. Olivia Van Meter, Danny Kuhn, they have continued to press opponent after opponent. Here's Mazizi winding and firing, and it finds its way through. Looks like Olivia Van Meter got her stick on it as Mazizi sends it forward, and once again Lynchburg adds to the tally. 6-1 in the Hill City with under 5 minutes to play, and Olivia Van Meter, as we just mentioned, coming off a goal in that last contest, will add one more. So many different results throughout a season, and when you see Lynchburg, as they have continued to pound the cage in recent contests, lots of crooked numbers on the scoreboard. Well, it's not always the same for every single opponent. You look at the Sweet Briar squad that's obviously right now in a struggling position. They find themselves behind the 8 ball, but in their last victory versus EMU, they didn't even allow a shot. A 3-0 scoreline, and so you never know how exactly the picture is going to pan out. It's the beauty of ODAC field hockey. You got to go into every single game with a similar mindset. More substitutions for Lynchburg. Mazizi makes her way off, so our Prinz will take her spot on the field. The Sweet Briar squad will have one at home versus Roanoke on Saturday before traveling to Southern Virginia and Bridgewater in their next 2. So a few more road trips in store for both of these squads. Lynchburg has a trip for another penalty corner. We'll see what the Hornets can do this time. Maybe a quick conversation as Hornets can make the walk over. Here's another chance for Allie Freeman. .334 left in the first half of play. Lynchburg ready to go. Freeman goes outside. This chance might file through. Hornets sticking right outside the cage. Second chance. Deflects out. Danny Kuhn has had several opportunities today. The junior from Newport News, 3 goals on the season. Now the Vixens. Just trying to find numbers down the field, and that's been the problem with these clearances. You're seeing Lynchburg so ahead with this pressure. Vixens have really been in a dangerous spot all contest long. Here's the second chance as the Hornets at the outside. When Lynchburg lost a few key figures last year, you think about Kayla Brady in goal, Marlou Vendricks up front. You wonder what the replacements are going to look like, but these freshmen have just continued to build a new energy. This time, this rolls through again, and Lynchburg is sitting in a very nice spot now. Lucky number 7 on the day. That's exactly why, a product of what this team is all about. The energy, the momentum, it goes all the way to the sideline, and it has been a great day so far for the Hornets. I believe Van Meter has found another one on the day. She is someone who has found big score lines here at home. Goes all the way back to last season. The Hornets right back to business. Just a scratch so far on the scoreboard, but they have put up most of the numbers on the other side of the field as it is a 7-1 scoreline. Here come the Hornets again working forward. This time it finds its way out. Last time these two teams met, Lynchburg won it. A 10-0 victory at Sweet Briar. This time it reverses back to the Hill City. Not exactly a super long trip, as here's another chance that Sweet Briar has to watch right in the circle. second and third opportunities, they just pile on in. And another penalty corner for Lynchburg. Van Meter walking to that other side, but a similar setup, as it does look like Allie Freeman set to take this one again. Where do the Hornets go this time? It goes to the top of the circle, a big time shot. Path disrupted, Sweet Briar lingering the other way. Final 30 seconds. Can Lynchburg add one more? Here comes Saar Prinz. Quick stoppage before the Hornets can keep moving forward. Freeman takes a shot that's deflected. Lots of whistles, and this time the Vixens take over, and it looks like that is how our first half comes to a close, unless Lynchburg has one final feat of magic. Pass goes into the middle of the field. No one on the other side for the connection, but Lynchburg is enjoying their time on Schellenberger once again, marching toward an 8th straight victory. Coach Relford's squad is getting hot at the right time of the season, and once again, they have a lot of numbers on the score sheet. Versatility in this offense. They'll try to keep it going in the second 30 minutes. Lynchburg is up 7-1. Welcome back on Schellenberger Field. Evan Gates taking you through this field hockey contest, which Lynchburg finds itself in a very dominant position heading into this third quarter, up 7-1 against Sweet Briar, a pair of foes that are separated by just about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less. But as we get set for the third quarter, we will take a look at our stats, and one shot on the day for Sweet Briar. It is one goal, so success in the efficiency department, 100% shooting percentage, but obviously Lynchburg has absolutely peppered the cage. 22 shots on goal on 24 attempts. The Hornets have been lethal, and we just continue to see this offense rumble in the right direction. A lot of different characters that can get it done, as well as Sweet Briar will start their possession. Moving on the other side of the field, we talked about it in the first half. The sun can sometimes pose some problems, especially in these afternoon or evening contests here on Schellenberger. Vixens do just enough this time to send it out. The Hornets in the all-black, Sweet Briar the white with pink bottoms. How many times do you see pink with university color schemes? I really like it. The Sweet Briar colors, the navy and green, gives you Lynchburg Hillcats vibes if you are a local fan. Of course, the single-A minor league affiliate of the Cleveland Guardians. Obviously an all-women's school, so you don't see them in every single season with Lynchburg. Obviously they will go, the Lynchburg men's soccer team goes up against Hampton-Sydney, an all-men's school. We will see that contest at 7 o'clock. A pair of ODAC foes that sit at the top of the conference. That is a big one on Schellenberger Field, and we talk about time almost expiring on the regular season here. Well, the news for the men's soccer climate is that it's even closer. Just 2 games after tonight's affair. Penalty corner on the way for Lynchburg. Sweet Briar will return and get their masks. We will see the Hornets in another position to get a set look. We've seen a few of them in that first half, something that Coach Relaford continues to touch on. It's all about setting the standard as well. An interesting point that Coach made going into this game. She said, you know, we have to make the standard for how we want to play. We need to go play to the top of our game. Really just starts with dominating and understanding whoever you are playing, whatever opponent it is. You got to go bring your A game. Hornets this time in the area code. Dorstein's shot just deflected out wide. Two considerably different benches in this game as well. We haven't mentioned that. Sweet Briar, a very small roster compared to what Lynchburg fields. The Hornets have certainly restocked with a lot of freshmen on this team, and even though they've had some key departures in the past, they're looking quite fine heading into the climax of the season. As you saw a quick look at the bench, and 5 players and the goalie currently on that bench. It does look like there's a change in goal for Sweet Briar. I believe Ashley Majora will be in goal. No, looks like Trinity Tao is the new goalkeeper for Sweet Briar, number 00. Majora is one of those mainstays in the lineup you've seen quite a few times throughout the season. But Trinity Tao, somebody else who will come into this contest, the freshman from Chesapeake, and get some minutes. Another penalty corner for the Hornets as they're awaiting this one. 12:21 in the third quarter on a beautiful day on Schellenberger Field. The Hornets laced up and ready to go. Pass outside. Dorstein, high velocity shot. Mazizi gets the second opportunity just left of the cage. But once again, these look starting to look a little bit better for Lynchburg. They are gaining momentum. Corner just doesn't connect this time, and the Vixens head the other way. Possession in the midfield as Lynchburg ushers out. Pass from Prinz, and it looks like Tatum Humphreys on the far side. Surveys. Now Kanye Mazizi, former All-American. Change in possession, and this is a Vixens takeover. Lots of give and go passing. The Hornets are starting to take advantage of. Here's Danny Kuhn. Middle of the field, and the Vixens have some open turf ahead. The problem is Lynchburg's just been so sharp defensively. Megan Stifler takes another crack at this one. Kuhn was watching as well as it flirts with the line. Gigi Huttman. Finally out of bounds as Lynchburg regains possession. Last season for Lynchburg, 10-game and 9-game win streaks. And those were the punctuation marks on what was a phenomenal season, a historic season. With a win today, it will be 8 straight, reminiscent of what we saw from that last season that featured a lot of goal scoring. And obviously, this is a Lynchburg team where it's tough to compare one edition to another. You're comparing apples and oranges, so many different characters. But overall, the Hornets have started finding their footing. Granted, the stat categories may look a little bit different. Hornets have conceded a few more goals than last season. Right now, 21 on the season belong to opposition. Now make it 22 with Sweet Briars early in the first quarter. But you still like what you're seeing, and the stats don't exactly tell the full story. It's about the play on the field. Mazizi, a fake on one side, passes out to Kuhn. Entry with a weight deflection off the Vixens. Lynchburg sets up shop again. Stifler will move outside. Instead, looks like Sar Prinz with the entry. Right back in the same spot. Dorstein was trying to control, and another penalty corner that Lynchburg can set up for. Only 2 games this season without an assist as well for the Hornets, and we've seen a lot of offense. These shots on goal that we talk about, 22 of 24 in that first half, well, it starts with passing. The high percentage shots don't exactly appear off isolation opportunities. You got to find the right connections. Good thing for this Hornets team is that they have the right personnel to do so. A lot of speed, a lot of power. A good balance. Here comes the pass outside. Mazizi fires. And Tao is stout in the cage. See a deflection on that one. The whistle might have occurred before the shot. Either way, Sweet Briar takes possession. Inside 10 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Can the Vixens get the clearance as they continue moving in the right direction? Mazizi granting pressure on that far side of the field. Sweet Briar's last 6 losses have been shutouts, so even if they do have an L on the stat sheet today, it's a point of optimism. They get the goal, and they can maybe add on. These quick spurts of attacking have certainly been positive points. Kuhn sends this one forward. Another nice entry, and the Vixens have to be careful in the circle. Guess what? Another penalty corner. Mentioned that last time out, Lynchburg had a slew of them as well. 13 to be exact versus the Generals. The defensive categories for the Sweet Briar team will be what they have to continue refining. Opponents shooting over 21% this season and averaging almost 4 more shots per game, and that is a very difficult answer to crack when you look at how much possession other teams are gaining. again, in a situation like that, you can't necessarily attribute the lack of defensive success to the goalkeeping staff. It's an entire team that has that show up. Defense is trying to be crisper. Mazizi working inside the circle. Just watching her play, she's one of those players who has so much fun on the field. Her energy certainly helps her teammates out as well, regardless of if the calls go her way or not. And that's what you want, especially from an underclassman. Just a sophomore this year is Kanye. She's working to build this program and build the culture. With a large international presence, the Hornets keep on rolling. Working through contact is Lynchburg, but the referee is directing traffic. Sar Prinz trying to keep this possession rolling. Now she goes to the outside. So you see a substitution for the Hornets. Back on is Allie Freeman. Stop and go traffic in this third quarter. Pass finds Freeman. Seconds after she's back on the field. This time the Hornets looking similar situation. Doorstep for Tao. She can't block long enough. And the wall comes crashing down. The Hornets find number 8. Just a difficult position for the Hornets. They're loving every part of it now. Initially, that was good defense from Trinity Tao. Did what she could. It was just the fact that the pressure was so immense. So many Lynchburg players waiting to pounce. So a good defensive stand, but now Lynchburg able to crack the code again. This, of course, a Lynchburg team that boasted 5 All-Region selections and 2 All-Americans in Marlou Vendricks and Kanye Mazizi last season. National rankings aren't everything, but you look at some of these familiar opponents from last season and you can tell Lynchburg will certainly enjoy their time against some of those top opponents in the U.S. Of course, York, one of those 2 ranked losses that has really just posed problems in some of the Lynchburg fans' minds. You know that it's a stage where you've beat them before. You did it last year, so what exactly is the answer now? But you can't base your entire perception on one game. And I think that Coach Relaford has done well, obviously giving credit to this young squad for responding, but also continuing to build that mentality. Recognize that you are so much bigger than 60 minutes. Players slow to get up after that encounter. Once again, Emmy Burdine, the sophomore from Huntington Beach, takes a few slow steps. The Hornets will make a few swaps. Don't forget, if you're just joining us on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, the Lynchburg men's soccer team will be in action tonight under the lights, set for a 7 p.m. kickoff versus Hampton-Sydney. That first touch all throughout those 90 minutes will be very energetic. 2 teams that are capable of bringing the physicality, bringing the energy, and of course, being a matchup at the top of the table just adds a little extra something. The Vixens' defense successful this time. Mentioned the swap for Sweet Briar in the goal here in the second half. Well, Lynchburg did the exact same, though Shai Scoons hasn't exactly been pressed into action on the other side. She's in that blue goalkeeping uniform the top of your screen, Samira Garavi with the service in the first half. Schoons and Garavi continue to both have appearances. Both have started at least 6 matches this season. Garavi got the start today to make her total 7 and match that of Shai Schoons. Hornets will start from the top. Here's Allie Freeman. Chips this one up. And Sweet Briar continues to extinguish some of those threats that Lynchburg has really kept at a short and quick style. They haven't extended many of those attacks. We've seen a lot of them find the circle, but the Hornets don't waste any time. They're going to try and get that goal. A few referee encounters that have sent it the other way. Far side of the field, and possession belongs to the Hornets once again. 20 shots on the day for Lynchburg. They've converted on 8. Sweet Briar has failed to score in consecutive games coming into this one. Outscored by a combined 15-0 versus Washington and Lee and Shenandoah. They get one today against Lynchburg. Such a tough 3-game stint. The Generals and the 2 Hornets teams that sit atop the conference. Have to imagine the Vixens have a lot left in store this season. As we mentioned, they will go to face Roanoke, Southern Virginia, and Bridgewater in their next 3. Lynchburg, a team that scores goals at a high rate, just under 3 per game, but you also got to look at the assist column. That's something that's been a difference maker. Just under 1.8 per game. Mentioned they're scoring 2 or more goals in every single win. Well, the assists certainly help. Discussion between the referees on the far side. The 1.5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Glad you're joining us on LHSN. Another field hockey contest, and a Lynchburg team that is rolling at home this season. Loud contact, but the whistle came first. Few cowbells in the crowd from the Vixens faithful. Mentioned it's not too far of a trip, but obviously a lot of players from a lot of different places, so support will certainly travel. It's a good thing about the ODAC. Every single team but one in the Commonwealth. You keep things close. Joe Pleiter, a little crafty with that approach. Doesn't work out. The Hornets still sticking close as Allie Freeman almost escapes, but unsuccessfully. Now the Hornets, maybe one trick up their sleeve to end the 3rd quarter. Probing. As they move outside, here's Tatum Humphreys. Earns a penalty corner. Clock will stop at 17.5 seconds, so the Hornets will have plenty of time to set up. Lynchburg averaging over 10 penalty corners per game to Sweet Briar 7. A commanding offense. It shows the possession stats that they have had. So much action in the circle. That's why it's got to be clinical. A little bit sharper See if the Hornets can get a goal on this one. Rolls all the way out front. Sweet Briar, better defense. The Hornets can continue rolling. The clock is going down, though. 2 seconds left. That is how this third quarter ends. So the Hornets don't get a shot off, but they do get another goal. Add one to the tally, up 8-1 as we head into the fourth quarter. The final 15 minutes from Schellenberger Field as the Hornets look for their 8th straight win. We'll be right back. Final 15 minutes. And we are just about ready to go as Sweet Briar takes over. Fixing to chip this pass over. We mentioned it going into the third quarter after the halftime speeches are concluded that if you look at the efficiency stats, you look at the percentages, well, Sweet Briar is 100% in the shooting column, but only one shot on the day. It capitalized, and it came off a very quick counter opportunity. Lynchburg really caught napping with the defense, and Samira Barabi in goal couldn't do much. Isolated away in the cage. Here come the Hornets. Just a little too far. Here come the Hornets. Now working out wide again. We've seen this Lynchburg offense continue to pose different questions. Balsamo enters to Mazizi. Shot just a little left. Another brilliant opportunity from Lynchburg, who has dominated the scoreline so far. Characteristic that has remained similar for many of their contests throughout the ODAC slate. They will move to an undefeated 5-0 should this result stay the same. If you're Coach Relaford, I think the expectation is to be undefeated going into that final matchup against Shenandoah. His team is capable of it being nationally ranked 13th. Mazizi. Look at the in and out. So much misdirection. Makes her teammates' jobs that much easier as Tao has to be careful. Vixens catch a break this time. Round two, shot goes right at the cage. Lynchburg testing every single direction. Hornets might have more in store. This time, middle of the field. They have kept Gigi Hutman's contributions at a minimum. The way they have commanded this possession. Hutman, someone who will always give teams problems, and we will continue to see it throughout the ODAC. Balsamo working in the middle of the field again, earns the call for Lynchburg, and here comes Kanye. Pass forward to Humphreys. Just pestered on the outside, and the Sweet Briar defense continues to grow a little bit wider, but the problem now is the Hornets have options in the middle. "21 wins last year for Lynchburg were the most since 2001. We've already mentioned that Elite Eight appearance. You wonder, though, if Lynchburg can get back to that stage and what an improvement it would be. You lose someone like Enza Steele, and Coach Relaford comes in and proves, yes, we can still be capable with this roster. Mazizi's shot on a hop. Second opportunity. Wow, Lynchburg. And some of those chances are the ones that Coach Relaford will look to in the postseason and say, yeah, we got to have those. How many times do you get them? Hornets continuing to play their style. You know, it's a beautiful day in Lynchburg. You can see the sun shining off the new Shelley turf. Those renovations made last winter, heading into the spring season, so all of these fall sports are getting their first run on it. Of course, it looks very familiar now with how many games have been played at home. Just seems a little bit greener as the postseason arrives. The trees start to lose their leaves. Everything's a little more dead, and then you got the bright spot on campus. Hornets on the doorstep. There's another bright spot. Lynchburg connects for goal number 9. Right outside of the cage. It was very easy work for Madison Mark. The senior from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. 4 goals coming into this contest. She took a big leap offensively from that freshman to sophomore season. She's just continuing to remain in this role and capitalize. A vocal leader, somebody who you can count on, and you've heard her name quite often in these games at home. Well, she connects and makes it a 9-1 scoreline. Once again, another chance for Lynchburg that's right on the doorstep. Few shots have been super acrobatic. You don't need to go deep into the toolbox sometimes when you have the personnel to execute at a high level. Cookie cutter stuff, and Lynchburg is on their way again. With the numbers moving forward, they're going to take their time and find Sarprinz in the middle of the field. Pass, unable to thread through, and the Vixens maybe escaping the other direction. Wow, contact as Kaylee McCarthy was disrupted. Palazzo has this one taken away. Schuchter looks forward. Here's another chance. And dangerous position. Another chance for Mark. Sweet Briar will take over, though, and under 8 minutes to play in this contest. Sweet Briar squad that will fall to 5-9, 1-5 in conference play. It's amazing how quickly this fall season goes by as well. Mentioned it in one of our previous games. All of a sudden, you're going from those talks about figuring out your lineup and who belongs where to, oh, wow, the postseason is in just a couple weeks. It's time to start fixing the table, finalizing all the moves. Schuchter's pass with a lot of velocity finds the middle of the field. Here's Allie Freeman. Little too much contact from the Hornets. They've made consistent rotations as per usual. They've paid off. You see it with the slew of offensive contributions. Here's Madison Mark again. Moves to the middle of the field, has an opening shot as the stick hits the turf first. Not exactly the look that she wanted. Coming into this contest, Majora had started every game in goal but one for Shenandoah. It's all about prepping the other two first-year keepers. Trinity Tao is one of them. She's getting good reps today. In cage in the second half. In the first half from Rayan Hart, that was pretty stellar. She did have 12 saves despite the goals allowed. So again, the individual efforts were not all that bad. Lynchburg's offense just a little too overpowering. To come out, though, at a 4:30 start time and execute the way Lynchburg has, everybody's still in class just to execute and be consistent with it. You got to feel good if you're Coach Relaford on a pretty day. The Hornets will certainly continue to refine their craft. There's a lot to finish as we get set for the heart of conference action, which it feels like we're already in, but you go down the final few games and then already look at the postseason tournament. Hornets can feel good about what they've done so far. Allie Freeman. The Hornets just keep on marching forward. It's also been a warmer day in the Hill City. Temperatures in the 70s will start to cool off within the next week. By the time you do reach that postseason tournament, you're going to see some long sleeves. Might have some very different weather in the cards. Hornets trying to work on the far side of the field. Margot Smith, who was credited with a goal in that first half, the freshman from Fallston, Maryland. Progress interrupted. Lynchburg tries to find a second option. All the way to the back line. Claire Baker. Pass just a touch over the line. Schuchter can't connect. We're setting the table for what will be a very fun Senior Day contest versus Shenandoah. We've already talked about it, but you got to go back all the way to 2016 for the last time a Shenandoah squad defeated Lynchburg in the postseason. We know that is a regular season matchup, but it just shows the success that the Hornets, well, the hometown Hornets have had in that matchup. But we know Shenandoah's version in the Battle of the Sting is also very prevalent. They're continuing to operate, continuing to win games, and that coaching staff is just as bought in. Will have to be Coach Relaford's best team and their best brand of ball. Plenty of time to ponder, though, and Lynchburg, after today's result, will enjoy it, but will also have to look forward as they travel to EMU on Saturday. Here's Humphreys. Space as she tries to move toward the cage, and a penalty corner on the way. Two minutes to go here in the Hill City. Eight-goal disparity between the Hornets and the Vixens, and most of them coming in the first half. Power in the circle, and this Lynchburg team has just continued to throw punch after punch. A lot to feel happy about. Hornets maybe trying to crack double digits. We'll see what they have in store. Mirror shot almost finds the stick of Plighter, but referee sends it the other way. Folks, we've talked about the men's soccer contest coming up next on Schellenberger Field against Hampton-Sydney. You can also go to the other stream on LHSN as women's volleyball enjoys their Senior Day festivities. Time continues to tick down on what has been a very fun fall season thus far. Another penalty corner with 73 seconds on the clock. This has been the name of the game. The Hornets have really stacked these opportunities, but the question still remains, can they capitalize on some of the penalty corners? They have thrown look after look and has been very different throughout this contest, but they have still struggled to get a consistent flow of goals. We'll see if they can get one now. Shot once again disrupted. So Olivia Muir a little too predictable on that approach. But Allie Freeman keeps the possession alive in the final minute. Sweet Briar exits on the other side of the field. Sar Prinz with her strong brand of play, and the coaching staff did not like it. Very dissatisfied after that call is Hannah Lott. As vocal as we have seen her all game long. That's with the slew of 9 goals as well. But for Sweet Briar and Coach Lott's squad, you understand this is not the end of the road, and this certainly isn't an indication of the progress they continue to make. It is a program that has put in the work. They will have to take this one on the chin and keep marching forward, but Lynchburg, another powerful win. An 8-goal margin separates the Hornets and the Vixens as the clock strikes 0. A big-time result from Coach Relaford's squad on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Everyone was involved in the attack, and everyone has been all season long. The freshmen have come through in big ways. pair of goalkeepers involved in this contest for Lynchburg, and overall, if you are a Lynchburg field hockey fan, you are satisfied. Once again, don't forget the squad travels to EMU on Saturday for a 1 o'clock affair with the Royals. But for now, we will settle with a positive performance. Don't forget that the Lynchburg men's soccer team is in action at 7 o'clock as they take on Hampton Sydney, the top 2 teams in the ODAC. It might not be that way after this contest tonight. A lot in store from Schellenberger Field. Might we see some more magic? But the Hornets get it done 9-1 here in the Hill City. A big thanks to everybody on this LHSN staff and our director, Micah Adams. I am Evan Gates saying so long from the Hill City.